First time these two teams played, Wake Forest in Game 6 back, what year was it you said? Was it 04?
I think it was actually 2001.
2001, there you go.
Yep.
Wake Forest beats Tennessee. Tennessee comes back Game 7 to beat Wake Forest. Fast forward to last night, Wake Forest wins 7-6. Fast forward to tonight. Your Tennessee Volunteers for the 5th straight year are super regional bound. As Tennessee takes care of business tonight, it's Tennessee 11. Wake Forest are raking on to Winston-Salem tonight. 5. It is over. So many cool things tonight. We got down early on it, but they meant business tonight. A.J. Russell comes out. All of us, I think, were surprised by that. And then Krenzel come in, pitched a great job. I think we agreed, maybe a little too long, but still yet. Awesome job by him. And then Liam Doyle coming in. I mean, if your blood wasn't pumping tonight with that, and when Andrew Fisher fired up the crowd and then hit that bomb, if that didn't get you fired up tonight, you don't have any business watching. All right, that was two of the coolest things. And but opening thoughts, man. I mean, it's a good night, and we said it last night. I'll get to you in a minute. Some of you last night was like talk us off the ledge, and we both were like, "We're good, we're good. Just hold on." So opening thoughts tonight, man. What do you think?
I've never done crack cocaine in my life. But that 4th inning was definitely the experience that you have to have whenever you do crack cocaine. That 4th inning was that was just perfect. Like that was Tennessee baseball. That felt like everything we've always experienced under Tony Vitello. The 4th inning was just the outer body experience. I felt like for me, and I know that was for sure the feeling for everybody else. I think the 4th inning was kind of, you got over the nightmares that you've experienced, it seems like, at times this season, especially during the end of SEC play. So it was just great to finally overcome those terrors tonight, and send the demons off officially. So that was a great win. You held on, and then Liam Doyle came out, and he gave you another crack cocaine experience out of the bullpen. So it was it was awesome.
I think we all had that concern. You and I had texted on it, and I was texting some buddies of mine too. My concern when Doyle come in was he would be so amped up that he'd be wild. And, of course, he come out of the gate with 2 balls, but then he reeled it in. He was awesome. And he had to throw, 3 pitches more than he needed to at the end. I mean, he threw 2 perfect strikes that were balls. And, that umpire was crap tonight. He was total crap tonight. But, the bottom line is this team hit. This team got the job done. And, they're off to Fayetteville. We'll see where they're at here. And I'm telling you, man, with the amount of teams that have been put out so far, if this team can get by Arkansas,
watch out.
The repeat's realistic. It's very realistic. Of course, Arkansas is going to be your big test. I will go out on the limb and say this. If we get by Arkansas, we're repeating.
Yep.
I'm going that far out on the limb with it, because I think that's going to be a major test. Arkansas will. Make sure you hit the like. Anybody, if you know anybody that has not found the channel, share it out. You're a returning listener or a first-time listener, and you have not already subscribed to the channel as well. Notifications, because we'll be live next weekend. We've not seen the schedule on now. I would imagine it'll be Friday through Sunday series. Along the way, we'll see how that is. The times, of course, can fluctuate. It can be an early game. It can be an early series all weekend based on the way it goes. So, I mean, we'll have to see how they do that. If I'm not mistaken, Southern Miss a couple years ago was Saturday through Monday, too, was it not?
I think it may have been, And then last year we played at 11 a.m.
So it could be Friday through Sunday. It could be Saturday through Monday. I really wish they would reseed getting into this round, because there's been so many upsets. There's going to be teams. I mean, if Murray State can hold on here, it's going to be Murray State at Duke. And it is what it is. Let me hit some comments, some good ones here tonight. Let me hit the super chat first. Out of the Woods said that was Tennessee baseball. And I'll tell you what, that totally was tonight. And if there's ever two guys who exemplify, and Alwood, thank you so much for your generosity. Let me not underestimate that. I really appreciate you along the way. If there are two guys who represent the villain era of Tennessee baseball, you go back to 2022, 2021 even, when the villains were born. Andrew Fisher and Liam Doyle fit in perfectly.
Yep.
With those are the guys that fire this team up right here. What Andrew Fisher did tonight when he fired the crowd up. Yeah, we saw the what was said on TV by the Wake Forest coach, and you know what karma happens. Karma happens sometimes, and the dumbest thing that they did was throw him a fastball. He was trying to kill it, and they put it right in his will. That was one of the coolest, most awesome sights I've seen as Tennessee baseball. Was that moment, him firing the crowd up. It's almost like Happy Gilmore firing up the crowd and then hitting a 400-yard drive along the way. That was so cool. And then Doyle coming in, he was amped up, and he was awesome tonight. Those two guys, I mean, we've said it, where would we be without those two guys? I mean, but along the way, it's here. Kerry Carson says, "Go Big Orange." David, what's up, man? Good to see you. Manny Marin.
Huge.
Manny Marin's the MVP of the night. I totally think he is, or worse, he's a co-MVP. That 3-run bomb, I mean, he had the bunt, which was perfect in the second inning. We got a run out of it. I mean, we got to the top of the lineup with bases loaded, nobody out. That freaking shift got Gavin Keelan twice tonight. He finally beat the shift late. But he had a good ball up the middle. That shift, double play, got the run in. But Marin on that, and two, a little bit of insight on that. That's 2 nights in a row we've seen that, where Wake Forest had a perfect bunt to that side last night. Manny Marin did it tonight. That is not the third baseman's fault on covering that. If it's like I think it was on the coverage on it, the first baseman's charging, your pitcher is covering anywhere from the mound to the third base line on it. The third baseman is back because the hope is your first baseman's going to field that and fire it to third on it. That's just 2 perfect bunts. Now, really, probably your best way to do that is you're charging both corners, and then your shortstop's covering third, your second baseman's covering first on it. But the normal bunt coverages that I know and that I have personally ran in that situation going to third was the first base, because used to, if you're trying to bunt the guys over from second to third, you would bunt toward the first base side. Things are kind of changing, and I think that's just the evolving based on coverages, because you had your first baseman covering for it now. Now your coverages really kind of have to evolve to account for that. Manny was awesome tonight. Had a double late, scored again in the 8th. Great win. Liam Doyle is a freak of nature. There's no doubt about that. We're off to Fayetteville, no doubt. Man, oh man, it feels good. Liam Doyle. Fisher, when they do it, their energy has to rub off on it. Great result, so much more fun. That was fun tonight. That was a lot of fun to watch. I'll hit some more comments as we go here, but what was a big thing that stood out to you tonight? I mean, there was a lot of big moments, but Tennessee gets down. But what was the turning point in the game to you?
I mean, of course, the turning point in the game was the 4th inning. But I would say, as a whole, Tennessee played just really good, solid baseball tonight. They fundamentally hit the baseball. You saw that in the early innings with the bunts, and then the Reese Chapman just holding the bat out there and running one off the second base and getting an RBI. And then everything else after that was good. Like it was fundamentally hitting. Dean Curley in the 8th or 9th inning there, that was fundamental baseball right there. Just poke one out on the center field, 2 RBI hit. So it was just at the plate, we were very fundamental. I'm going to say that again and again because it was a clinic. It was a hitting clinic tonight. I said last night that Tennessee needed to for me to comfortably feel like Tennessee would win. They'd score 10 runs. At the minimum, it would be 8. You already had 8 runs at the 5th inning. Because I think we only scored 7 in the 4th. We may not have actually had the 8th at that point, but we had the eight runs before the 6th inning ever got there. You reach 10 runs, then you add on an 11th. So it was Tennessee. It was in a great position to win. Like I said last night, that was the amount of runs that you needed to score to have me at least feel comfortable. Because the bullpen, you never know what you're going to get out of them. I feel like the bullpen pitched absolutely great tonight. Russell pitched good. He got out of the inning, but the umpire doesn't know how to call strikes, so you give up a 2-run bomb because of that. But after that, Lowell pitched good. Krenzel pitched great. You left him in just the inning too long, but that's okay because it didn't come back to bite you. Franklin pitched perfect. You hadn't seen a lot of him lately, so it was good to see him pitch as good as he did. And then you turn the ball over to Liam Doyle, and it was ball game after that. There was no touch on Liam Doyle tonight. He was on a different level.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree on that. I mean, the pitch, and they hit pretty much on all cylinders tonight, and Krenzel was big. That segue he had for him. You guys hear me snapping or something, or dog commotion, so I might mute my mic going a little bit here. But yeah, Krenzel was excellent. Like I said, Russell, I actually missed the pitch. I was doing something here and missed the pitch on it, but everything I saw, and of course you said it as well,
it was
a strike, and he should have been out of that one. But Krenzel come in, did a great job. Lloyd come in, did a good job tonight. One thing I figured out with Franklin, he can't throw an outside fastball.
No. You
notice how many times he missed his target on that tonight?
I don't know how many times, but he of course missed the one whenever he gave up the one major blow of the night.
He had a few good misses.
Yeah.
But I noticed at least 3, if not 4 times he missed that outside target. But he was really good though. He did an excellent job. And then, like I said, Doyle, man, he's just a wild man. And that was so cool then. Tony Vitello just over beat the crap out of him.
Did you see what Ronnie Freeman just said? Ole Miss lost, and then LSU is down 5-1.
Ole Miss definitely lost. Yeah. I've got that on right now.
Did you see? Have you looked at Little Rock at all? At their record, they're below 500. They were 12 or 13 games below 500 going into the conference tournament. They've won 8 games and lost 1. And the only loss has come in the NCAA tournament, but they're playing in what they're playing in right now. But that's crazy. They were 13 games below 500 or 12 games, one of the two, and then they get hot out of nowhere. And then here they are now, and they're up 5-1 on LSU. I don't care. I would bet that LSU would come back and win. I feel like last night was a huge upset that I didn't really see a lot of talking about today about that. That was crazy. Little Rock just handed it to them last night. So it'd be nice to see if they get beat. If LSU gets beat tonight, that's one of the worst losses in college baseball history. It's just because it's a team in the NCAA tournament that's below 500. And it's not just a game or 2. They're right now, I think they're 6 games under 500 still. So they're in a rough place. And yeah, so it could be a very, very rough night for LSU fans if that score does hold.
That was one of the teams I was complaining about being in, because I was like, you all of a sudden you get hot for a weekend, get in. It's part of the sport though, but like I say, man, you get hot at the right time. You have 5-1 the second inning. And it looks like Little Rock's got first and third with 2 outs.
Wow. Right
now as well. So they could add on more here. Also, I think I'd put this up while you're talking, but yes, someone got raped. I'm curious if our Wake Forest buddies will be back in here tonight after all that.
They will be tuning into the show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
Maddox? Their yards tonight.
Was it Maddox? Was that his name?
Oh, Maddox, yeah.
Yep,
Maddox, come on in here, buddy. Eat some crow, because I told you
I'd love to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, Joseph Harris, member of the channel. Great game. G. White, what's up? G. White says Liam is a maniac. no doubt. I think Peebles was jawing at the catcher, but you know what, man? Here's one thing he struck out every time tonight. Just go to the dugout. I don't know what was said. You're winning. And evidently, I couldn't see the lip reading on that one. Kyle Peterson said he must have said the magic word. So if you don't know the magic word, go watch Bull Durham. And have you ever seen Bull Durham?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's been a minute since I saw it.
One of my favorite movies ever. Just go watch Bull Durham, and that's the magic word where old Crash gets tossed over it. But yeah, man, very proud of this team. I love Mike Monaco, and I love Kyle Peterson. I could hear them call games the whole year on it. Monaco to end with Doyle when he said all gas and no brakes. That was a fact. That dude, gosh, he was pumped tonight. And again, he fired. He has me ready to go run through a brick wall when he comes out like that. I'm telling you, man. Yeah, I hate people got thrown out, but you know what, man? It's an opportunity for Stone Lawless because Peebles tonight. I'm going to hit on something. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, and there's a few guys in this lineup still yet. Great night. We got a couple guys that really need to get figured out this week. One of them, Peebles, had a good start. He's not had as good of a finish. Dalton Bargo's got to figure it out.
Yep.
Offensively and defensively. If Jay Abernathy's out there in the first inning, that's a catch tonight. Bargo had, and we all know Bargo's better than this.
Yes.
So I'll preface this on it. He did not have a good regional at all. No. And we need a lot more out of him in Fayetteville. We're going to need him to go down there and win. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, man. Doyle, now the all-time strikeout record past who? Hochaver, I said?
Yeah, it was Hochaver.
Yep.
He only needed
Doyle the best in the country? I mean,
there's no.
I'm not taking anybody over him.
That's not even close to a debate anymore.
I don't think so. I mean, Anderson for LSU is good. There's some good pitchers, but
I'll tip my cap to Anderson, but Doyle he's next level.
Yeah.
The only bad starts he's had this year is he's been dealing with the blister pretty much. So, I mean, he's been lights out each week. It's gonna be a pleasure watching him in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Did you notice that I kind of noticed I just wondered if he was real twitchy, but did you kind of notice this? This is an interesting observation.
I know
and it could have been because people have been speculating that he's been tipping his pitches, and tonight it was obvious that he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a minor tweak. I mean, we saw the tweaks. I mean, Frank likes to make the kind of tweaks like that. I mean, we just saw with Phillips. I didn't notice. He could have done it the past few weeks. Phillips with the leg kick. When runners are on, it couldn't have been like that big in the recent weeks. I may be wrong on that. It may have been an adjustment that had already been made. I just feel like it was definitely noticeable the other day in the regional play. I just felt like his leg kick when runners were on wasn't nowhere near as big as what we had seen. And that was an adjustment that could have been made the past few weeks. I just didn't notice it until now. That would be my own fault, but it was very noticeable in my opinion whenever he pitched against Cincinnati. That was something that really stood out to me. So that's possibly this weekend. That's 2 adjustments that's made. And then it hasn't really affected Tennessee pitchers. I mean, Phillips pitched good with it. He pitched perfectly fine with it. And then if Doyle made that adjustment tonight, if Frank told him he needs to kind of do a little wiggle. If it worked, because it definitely worked tonight. So that was nice to see.
Phillips' adjustment started with Arkansas. That one started because, I mean, Arkansas is not the base stealing team that a Cincinnati is, for example, or even a Vanderbilt. But that was when he made his best.
Was the leg kick? Was it small like that against? Okay, so I just didn't.
Yeah, I can't remember when we talked about it on. I don't remember if you were on the show or not, but we we had talked about, he definitely shortened it up. I mean, it wasn't necessarily like a slide step, so to speak, but it was a big difference in it. So, I mean, you could tell he took it to heart the night Vitello said, if you don't fix it, you're not going to pitch. And they went and fixed it. So, I mean, to do it, I don't know why it took that long, honestly, but it just did. So, yeah, man, the SEC's had a rough showing this weekend. And,
Good.
I was going to say, you know what? It does not hurt my feelings one single bit there as well. Yeah, where's old Maddox at? I'm still waiting on Maddox to show up here. Maybe
he's probably sleeping. He probably tucked in the bed.
Yeah, he probably turned it off. Tonight. He probably turned it off after a Curly 2-run single. Or maybe he's out raking his yard right now. Who knows? But who's hot, who's not this time of year, right? I think Stone will be fine. I don't know what was said either. It must have been I don't know, man. These guys are getting thrown out and warned for every little thing now.
I thought that was just stupid that he got thrown out like that. Like, it was nothing. That wasn't the first F-bomb dropped in the game today. There's just no way that was the first time. The Wake Forest coach probably dropped it about 20 times tonight. So you got to hold that standard up for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody back there got called a CS, then whatever. I mean, wow. I'm not going to say it on air, but going back to Bull Durham, if that's what was said, I don't know if that's still the magic word. That's what it used to be, an F-bomb or something. It's baseball, man.
Yeah. Or
it's intense. I mean, it's not peewee ball. It's just not. Who's more talented, Arkansas? I don't know about talent. It's going to be close.
Yep.
It's going to be who's playing better. Because it's never been talent. Talent has not been Tennessee's issue.
No.
At any point. I mean, it's just not. That's why, some of these that put the odds out as who will win it have still had Tennessee in the top few and odds to win it. So, telling you, man, if Tennessee gets by Arkansas, there may be another parade in Knoxville this year. I think the team's coming together at the right time. And I don't think it will affect us a whole lot with Peebles out. I mean, it depends which one. Because the last couple games, he's not hit well. The guy who was on that roll.
Yeah.
But, Lawless has not hit good in conference play either. So,
yeah.
I think I'm not just going to sit here and say, blow it off, that it's not a loss.
But I wouldn't say that it's like something to just forget about, because I don't care about the hitting aspect. It's the fact that he's going to have to catch. He's going to have to catch in a super regional road environment. And he hasn't caught in an SEC game in quite a minute now, or like at least start-wise. So it's just one of those situations where the pitchers have to be on. And at this point, he's going to play the Friday night because it'll be the first game of the series. It also, another factor comes into play of, if it is Phillips, I get the stolen base issue has been calmed down the past few weeks. You just added in another element that didn't need to be added if you add in Stone Lawless into that. Because Stone's, of course, the playing experience just is nowhere even close to what Cannon has experienced. So I get that Stone does have a great arm, but I've seen Stone do just like Cannon has done at times this season and just totally overthrow the guy at second base. So if you do see it kind of work out with Phillips starting game one, because Liam Dole had to pitch tonight and Stone Lawless behind the plate, there'll be a very interesting battering ram that you see in between the pitching and catcher. That'll be something that you'll have to keep your eye on for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to hit at, because it's possible Phillips goes game one now.
I think Dole, the good thing is he only threw 33 pitches tonight. I'm pretty sure it was 30. It was either 31, 32, or 33. So it was nothing crazy. The crazy part is the adrenaline thing, but just like Kyle Peterson said, today would have been his bullpen day.
Bullpen day, yeah.
And that's about what he probably, I would assume, would have thrown today in the bullpen. I was more shocked at seeing Russell start today than I was the amount of pitches that Doyle threw. And it was kind of just a situation of Doyle did not have to come back out. Like, we were up 6 runs. Like, they're not coming back from that. He didn't have to run back out in the 9th. I get you do it for the entertainment and the scene and because you love him and everything, but it wasn't something that had to be done. So his arm definitely wasn't taxed, and it wasn't noticeably taxed. I mean, dude was still hitting 98, 99 in the 9th inning. That's pretty skillful considering he just threw 104 pitches 2 days prior. So hats off to him, but I do think that you got to give him the rest and possibly start him on Saturday.
I think you had to bring him back out. I think you leave no doubt. You don't take a chance because they can hit. I mean, yeah. What's the odds they would have scored 6? Probably not high, but I mean, we've seen. You go back to Wake and Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio scored a lot of runs, and then I leave no doubt on it. The way he was pitching, you finish it off, and he didn't really throw many more pitches in the 9th. Either he was pretty efficient with they threw probably 3 more than he needed to because of the umpire. But other than that, at that point, I think you leave no doubt. I mean, if they'd been up 10, 15 runs, I might have pulled in and give somebody else the work. But 6 runs, I mean, that's still quite a bit. But finish it and go on. And that's my thing too. He may be back Friday. I mean, today would have been a bullpen day, and I think that's a lot of. A lot of people probably understand that these guys don't just throw on, say, Friday and they don't throw again on the next. They're still doing stuff during the week. LSU still down 5-1 here. That's right, Bubbles. Tell them. Everybody hit that like button on the video. Hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate you guys. Marin had a night. Man, he was big tonight. He was big for us. This is a big thing, man. Like Kerry alluded to, it's that dynamic. If Phillips does go game 1, I would still bet it'd be Doyle, but it's hard to tell. It probably could depend. Do they want to bring him back if it's Friday through Sunday? Maybe that's known at this point. If you see it, any, I know you're good about this. Any quotes, anything you see that's important there that we can add here, let me know on it. I know you're kind of scrolling it.
Apparently they alluded to it during the game. They didn't. Tony Vitello actually alluded to it during the game, and he was talking about Dalton Bargo. He said if our guy's 100%, he probably makes the catch regarding the Dalton Bargo diving play where it bounced out of his glove. Tony Vitello said, I guess the post-game press conference, Ben McKee said that his hammy is barking a little bit, so that could be a factor going forward. And then he also said, going back to Arkansas, he said, growing up when I lost, I was a little punk, but I still wanted another opportunity, and that's what we've got waiting on us.
Yep. Absolutely. I love it. I wanted Arkansas. I mean, I don't know. I always like to see the SEC lose at this point outside of Tennessee, and I wanted them to lose for hosting purposes, but yeah, you're right. I'm one of those like Vitello. I like to get revenge, and thankfully, well, not thankfully, it could be unthankfully, but to win at this point, you got to beat the best. I mean, so I think if they can go down and beat Arkansas, I think this team can win a national title. I really do, because I think that's the last big test, especially with everybody who's gotten put out. I mean. Who knows what? I'm like you. I wouldn't count LSU out till they're done. And this, again, LSU's the road team at home again. 2 nights in a row. North Carolina was the road team 2 days in a row. We got to fix that, man.
Yeah.
We got to fix it. I can't remember if Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss was actually the home team, but maybe it's just a minor. It's just something that bugs the crap out of me. I get it, man. With Bargo, they're not going to pull him at this point. And if hamstring issue could be having a difference. He had a rough weekend, though. Hopefully they can get him going before next week. We've seen what he's doing when he's hot. And we need Inslee. Inslee had a big hit tonight. We need Inslee, Vargo. Chapman had the most perfect glorified bunt that I've ever seen tonight. That was huge. Oh, we got another visitor.
Yep. Third member of the channel.
I could bring, my other one, he's gone now. There was a little bit of barking going on out here, and mine got a little amped up. He'd come out here like he was Liam Doyle or something, ready to do some attacking here in a minute. But what's going on, bud? Well, what was your final thoughts on tonight there, bud? Go Vols. There we go.
Vols. Yep.
Now, this is pretty impressive. Little Rock had like 6 injuries, losing record. Now they're doing this. Wow, that's crazy. What's going on, Logan? Good to see you in here, man. Yeah, Franklin. Now, I've seen people say you look like Levi Clark. I think you and Tanner Franklin resemble each other a lot. You had a little goatee like he does.
Can't grow facial hair. Not there yet.
Yeah, I think you favor him more than Levi Clark, to be honest with you.
I'll take both.
Nuke LaLoosh. One of the greatest movies ever. Trying to get caught up. Gosh, that balk. We used to run it was a balk call or like that, and that one was so obvious on the Wake Forest pitcher. Those umps were. It just amazes me how bad umpiring is. I mean, it just really does. Vanderbilt most certainly got eliminated. I'm assuming Louisville beat Wright State last night. Is that correct?
Yeah, they beat Wright State. I'm going to add something here.
Yeah, go ahead after that reaction.
Wes Rucker, he did something. He asked he said for the NCAA basketball tournament, they can ask. They said there's a pool reporter who's allowed to ask questions to officials after the games for the NCAA basketball tournament. He asked if he could do that, considering it's the NCAA baseball tournament, and they gave him one question. Through text, apparently, wasn't in person. And it was to home plate umpire Casey Moser. The question was, in a big game with lots of chirping from both teams, what did Cannon Peebles do that was different enough to merit an ejection? And he said, unsportsmanlike behavior toward the opposing catcher. So an F-bomb to the catcher got him ejected pretty much, which is just utterly ridiculous because that is something that happens probably at least once a baseball game. And then 95% of the time, it doesn't result in an ejection. I mean, we had the Wake Forest coach dropping homophobic slurs in the dugout tonight, and he didn't get ejected for it. And it was on live national television. So double standards a little bit crazy now.
Yeah, I mean, give me a break, man. It's an intense game. It's a regional final. And that catcher stuck his nose where it didn't belong a couple times because when Levi Clark got plunked in and Levi threw his bat down, which I loved it, and then that catcher run his mouth. That catcher instigated a couple times. That catcher needed to shut his mouth, and the umpire didn't. They tried to blame Clark for that one, I felt like.
Yep.
And
it wasn't his fault.
No, I mean, you get hit twice up high like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to be pissed off too about it. And Kyle Peterson made it. I love Kyle Peterson. He made it. Oh, it's not intentional. It doesn't matter. You've gotten hit twice. Or you're supposed to say, oh, it's okay, bud. I know you didn't mean to. Just punt me for damn 96-mile-per-hour fastball up high. I'm good with it. That's not the point of it. He wasn't pissed because he thought they were throwing at him. He was pissed because he's gotten plunked twice up there. It's common freaking sense. I know this reference. Manny Fresh Marin, big timers. The old juvenile crew. Manny Fresh on that one. That's huge for him tonight, for Manny Marin, though. And I didn't realize it, too, and I was thinking that, but they talked about it. His first 2 home runs of the year were like the first week of the season or something? It was really quick, or maybe the first couple of weeks of it. and then he didn't hit another one until tonight. But man, he picked a great night to do that for sure. That's all right. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. I hope you're right, Ryan. I will take that all day long.
Yeah, I would too.
I do like it that we've got Doyle and Phillips going against them because we hit their main guy first time we played them. It was it not on Doyle? Doyle didn't have it, but wasn't that one of those defensive gems, aka nightmares, we had against Arkansas?
Yeah, that was 2 times in that series. We had the game, the play that ultimately cost us the Friday game. Yeah, because it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday series.
That's right.
Where Gavin Keelan just whiffed the throw to second base of Dean Curley. And that gifted them 2 runs in a game where we actually got beat by 2 runs. And then the next day you had the balk, and then Dean Curley let it go to the five hole, and then Tennessee kind of was just deflated after that. So those are 2 very winnable games. So I wouldn't say that series, just like the LSU series, Tennessee could have won both those series. It's just a matter of one play going differently. So it's just it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if Tennessee went down there and won. It would be nice, of course, if you do win, to win the first 2 games, because a rubber match hasn't panned well for Tennessee this season, even though it panned well for us today.
The one thing I think would help this time, though, now, and it would depend on how it goes. I don't feel like we really had a third option at that point. Now you've seen Arvidsson stand up. You've seen A.J. Russell start too. And, I mean, Coons he had thrown good against Auburn and Vandy, and then that Arkansas game happened. So I can't say we didn't have a third option, but that game just, when the wheels fell off, it was kind of tough on it. But
what do you do, like in the game 3 scenario? Are you starting Arvidsson, or are you letting a guy like Coons or Krenzel pitch 1 inning and then you hand the ball off? Like it's just 1 inning opener, then you hand the ball off to Arvidsson because he's grooved coming out of the bullpen.
I think it depends on what happens the first 2 games.
Yeah,
because let's say we go Friday night. If Tennessee wins that one, I'm probably going all out to end it Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, if Phillips is doing pretty good, I'm going to probably Arvidsson and Russell to finish it. That's just me on it. But at the same time, you don't want to tax your main guys. And then we've got enough depth, as we saw tonight. I mean, I think we were all pretty shocked to see A.J. Russell starting, which was pretty cool. Actually, I mean, that fired me. You and I were fired up on that, I know, on text. And then, of course, we knew it was a pretty good shot. Doyle would come in, and I thought that would be his role to finish it. Yeah, it's a good question, man. I think it depends on what happens the first couple games. That's going to be the big one for it. I don't see him. He's not injured. I can tell you that. I kind of thought we might see him a little bit tonight, but yeah, that was surprising. I don't know the reason on it, but the big thing we could see next weekend. We'll see on that one, but I think probably the Russell. I expected Coons to start tonight.
Yeah,
so I was kind of surprised with it, and I kind of thought Krenzel may go a couple innings, and Coons was active. I don't know if he was. I thought it looked like he was warming up at one point, but I know he was active in the bullpen. So I guess it did surprise me we didn't see him, but I wouldn't rule out seeing him next weekend either. Let's see where we're at here. The Drew. That's been the key to the weekend. We brought the Drew Gilbert celebration back, so that was pretty cool. There was somebody brought it up here, at one point. We just about, I guess it was pretty good sign tonight. We about had the Curley throwing error, and Fisher bailed him out. And Curley made a heck of a play. That was a tough, hard hit ball. He made a good play and he sold it, but Fisher bailed him out on that one. That was this was a good series, man. I think it was an underrated regional that they were in. I don't think Miami of Ohio was a bad team. I don't think there was a bad team in this regional. All of them had their strengths. All right, Miami of Ohio was a pretty good team. Cincinnati was a dangerous team. Wake Forest Wake Forest right now is, perennial good team every year. I think they were actually down a little bit this year from what they've been, but still, they're still a dangerous team. But I think you got to give this Tennessee team credit tonight for, like we've talked about, those third games, which happened last night, not been that good. It wasn't that terrible last night, but you got beat. How would they respond to that today? And got down early with the home run, but team didn't quit. And it was I guess your unlikely heroes, not Marin. Marin was huge tonight. It was Krenzel, huge tonight in what he did. That's the kind of things you need to get through it. Krenzel's line looks worse than what it was. It's 2 2/3, 1 hit, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, 3 Ks, and 11 batters. That's at one point where the stats don't tell the story. Yep. What Krenzel did tonight was huge on it. And I can't compliment him enough. I'm like you, thought they kept him in a little bit long, but still, it was – I understand why they kept him in too. It's not like it's one of those where I'm like, what are you doing? He was pitching really well. He gave up 1 hit tonight. The walks were a thing, but it is what it is. Peebles got ejected for basically cussing the catcher for Wake Forest, who was a freaking instigator tonight. He instigated Levi Clark. He was probably running his mouth. There had to be some words exchanged with Peebles on that too. But, these umpires need to swallow their pride sometimes and quit. That guy tonight was one of your old codgers who likes to control the game and stuff. I guarantee you in those conversations, but if Tony Vitello didn't say a bad word in all the conversations he had tonight, then I'd be shocked on it. Like I said, Wake's coach, he was on a bender as far as words went tonight too. It'll be interesting to see how we go next weekend. I'm sure they'll look at it. I don't even know if the schedule's set yet for next weekend. So
no, it should be set tomorrow.
It wouldn't hurt my feelings if it's Saturday through Monday, to be honest. They'd give Doyle an extra day to go Saturday. But normally when that happens, though, we don't get that benefit of the doubt on it. But, looking at who is left, I want to look at the bracket right now because I know SEC has not had a good weekend.
No.
And I'm like you, good. I'm not into that conference pride crap.
Yeah, me neither. Little Rock's still up on LSU. Still up 5-1, top of the 4th.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up with this one. So right now we've got Louisville advanced. Oh man, that's tough to see. Vanderbilt eliminated. Oh, so sad. Alabama eliminated. Oh my God. So Southern Miss and Miami are playing right now. Florida State advances. Mississippi State eliminated. So sad. Now they've got Virginia's coach. I don't know that that's an upgrade going from Virginia to Mississippi State. Not with what that dude's done with Virginia's program. There has to be something with resources along the way. I know Mississippi State's all about baseball. The whole state is, but Let's see what else we got here. So right now we've got Louisville's advancing. Not sure the Miami last I saw was up 1-0, but I don't have the live score up. Florida State advanced. Oregon State they were up big on USC, so they did
Miami
come out.
Southern Miss are tied 1-1.
That'd be a pretty good series, Oregon State and Florida State. North Carolina won. Arizona, I have not seen who won that. Arizona advanced out of the Oregon bracket, so Arizona, North Carolina should win that one. I would pick Florida State over Oregon State. It wouldn't surprise me to see Louisville advance, whether they play Southern Miss or Miami. Auburn Coastal, that could be a good series. That Coastal bracket I thought was brutal, and of course, I love that East Carolina waxed Florida twice. And Florida's coach evidently showed himself well. He's a guy I don't like. I can't stand him. And apparently he looked really bad this weekend. Did you see any of that complaining about?
I saw a little bit of it. From what I saw, he didn't look like he was the nicest human being in the videos that I saw. I didn't really listen to all of them, but he was chewing some people out. It wasn't like just all the way up in the dude's grill. Like you could absolutely see him losing his mind. He was giving them a good chewing, I think, on 2 different instances, but it wasn't nothing. I mean, it was still unacceptable. Like it's just something that shouldn't happen, but it wasn't like totally vile, even though it wasn't the right thing to do, I feel like.
Oh, it was bad. It was about everywhere. The word was an F-bomb. They had some of the audio. Somebody had it. I don't know if you'd seen that one or not, but
no, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's an A1 jerk.
And, I mean, that's no, though.
It's a perfect fit. A jerk in Florida. I mean, they go hand in hand. So Auburn Coastal, that should be a good one. I'd like to see Coastal take care of them. Tennessee, Arkansas, of course, that's going. West Virginia won the Clemson Regional. Now they will face, I mean, if Little Rock holds on, it's West Virginia hosting against Little Rock. Duke is hosting Murray State. Jeez. And then you got UCLA is going to be hosting University of Texas, San Antonio.
I think
insanity.
Especially if Little Rock holds on, this is a total makeup for March Madness. Because I mean, this past March Madness, it was as chalk can get. There was no upsets essentially. So this would definitely be the total opposite of that. This definitely makes up for it. Even though the NCAA baseball tournament's better, like it's better than March Madness in my opinion. This just makes up for it for the common fan.
Yeah. This is where I think the reseeding has to come in, because if you look at it right now, Tennessee would be, I don't know Southern Miss. Let's just say for the sake of conversation, Southern Miss does beat Miami, which is no given on it. And then we're waiting on, all right, let's say based on results and action, Little Rock does hold on, beats LSU. Tennessee would easily host a super regional again next weekend if you're reseeding, because you had Louisville's a 2 seed, Arizona's a 2, West Virginia's a 2, Little Rock's the 4 if they hold on. Murray State was the 4, Duke's a 2, UTSA is a 2, UCLA's a 1, but they're a 1 behind Tennessee. I mean, we got to fix that a little bit. The NCAA won't. I mean, because they've not even fixed who hosts. I mean, I still have a problem at LSU right now is the visitor in this game 7 of their regional. It's North Carolina was the visitor in game 7 today. It's just ridiculous, man. But it is what it is. It's everybody knows it going in. So it's, you know, the circumstance, you got to win it. But bottom line to me, with that field left, all right, so let's say out of that one, we'll make a couple predictions and get out of here on this one. But let's say if it's Louisville, Southern Miss, who you got in that one?
I'll go Louisville. They got it done this weekend, so I think they can get it done again.
I agree with you. Oregon State, Florida State. Who you got at Florida State?
Florida State.
Yep, I agree on that. North Carolina, Arizona.
Not even a question. North Carolina. I think North Carolina's good enough to win it, in my opinion. And so is Florida State.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Auburn Coastal, who you got? It's at Auburn.
I want to. That's a hard one in my opinion. I just think Auburn's good. They're sneaky good. I mean, we saw it firsthand. They're sneaky good. I think Ike Irish, he's just one of the best hitters in the nation, and their pitching staff just gets it done. So, give me Auburn.
I agree. I want Coastal to beat them, but I think Auburn too. So there we'd have it: Louisville, Florida State, North Carolina, Auburn on one side. All right. Here's the thing, man. That's the left side of the bracket. We're not on that side.
Yep.
Right, here's what your potential right side is, okay? UCLA, Texas San Antonio, Duke, Murray State, West Virginia. If Little Rock holds on to West Virginia, Little Rock, Arkansas, Tennessee. Nothing against any of those other teams. If Tennessee can get by Arkansas and they don't go just fall apart, Tennessee's playing for the national championship again. I think the winner in Arkansas, Tennessee. Now, again, barring if LSU comes back, that could be the thing that sparks them. But looking at that here, UCLA, UTSA. Who you got in that one? That's a tough one, I think.
You said UCLA and who?
Texas San Antonio.
Texas San Antonio. UCLA. They're good.
Yeah, they're hosting, and Texas San Antonio's traveling. At this time. Duke, Murray State. Who you got? It'll be at Duke.
Give me Murray State.
Really? I'm going Duke.
Yeah, I like that wagon.
Murray State is pretty good, though. That's right.
Yep. They score some runs.
If it's West Virginia, Little Rock, who you got?
Okay. I was trying to see if Little Rock was going to hold on to the lead there. West Virginia. I like West Virginia. I liked them last year. I picked them last year to go to Omaha, and they let me down. So I'll ride with them again.
Let's see. You got, I don't know if you're ahead of me, 3-2, 2 outs.
Yeah, that's what I got.
LSU's second and third.
Yep, with their freshman phenom at the plate.
And then, he walked.
Yeah. Did you see they got Jared Jones in the 6th spot?
Oh, really? Huh?
Yep.
Yeah, walked in, bases loaded. Could get interesting right here.
Yep.
And then you got Arkansas, Tennessee. So, in your opinion, what's Tennessee have to do to go down to Fayetteville and take that series next weekend? Because we've already dropped it once this year, but I like what Vitello said, being, in his words, the young punk who wanted more.
Yeah,
I'm the young punk who wants more too. And it's not a be careful what you wish for. It's you know who you got to get there. So what does Tennessee have to do to go down and go to another College World Series?
I think first off, it's playing good baseball, playing good, clean baseball. Fundamentals on both sides. You need good base running. You need good defense, situational hitting, clean pitching. You need to be hitting the strike zone. I think if you can do those things, you're in a great position. I think it's and he ripped one in the gap. Dadgummit. I think if you got to win the Liam Doyle game for sure. That has to happen. Liam Doyle, you have to win that game. You need to be in a great position whenever Marcus Phillips comes in. You need to be in a great position in that game. And if you get to a game 3, it's a hold on kind of thing. I don't want to be in that situation just because Arkansas have the upper hand in that kind of situation. Because, I mean, they're playing at home. They have an absolutely amazing offense. So if you get to game 3, I mean, I still, of course, would bet Tennessee to win because I'm a Tennessee fan. But if you get to game 3, Arkansas has the upper hand. Tennessee would have a lot to prove in that kind of situation.
My best case scenario, I think, for Tennessee is to win it in 2.
Yeah, that's
to win the first 2. I really do, because that's still that game 3. I mean, we lost game 3 this weekend, and something just doesn't jive in game 3. So I don't know. What I've noticed the last 2 weekends, and I thought was different tonight, was Alabama, Texas, the offense come out aggressive. Vanderbilt game, it seemed like trying to drive up pitch counts, looking for walks. This weekend, Miami of Ohio, and any of you guys can feel free to disagree with me on this one. This is what I saw, my observation. Miami of Ohio, offense aggressive. Cincinnati, offense aggressive. I thought last night versus Wake, we were looking for too many walks. Tonight, we come out aggressive again. And we drew walks. Don't get me wrong on that, but I thought there was much more aggression tonight than there was last night. And I think this team, I don't know what it is about that game 3 if we're trying to drive up pitch counts, which I wonder if that's part of it. And it's just a thought on it. I could be wrong on that one, but we just got to come out aggressive. I mean, normally your game 3 guys are the weakest of your 3 starters for the weekend. Doesn't mean they're bad pitchers by any means, but it's you got to come out aggressive, I think. And Tennessee did that tonight. They were ready. Last night, I didn't feel the aggression was there. What happened?
Superman catch, Hunter Inslee style.
Oh, here we go. Let's see it. I just got it. Oh, that was pretty good. So LSU is still Little Rock maintains the lead. Guy even kind of had a little bit of Inslee, had the mustache, and he's already gotten dirty along the way. So he's got a little bit of – he didn't get as fired up as Inslee. He kind of just made it look like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
They're right off of – he went between the McDonald's and the Quality Concrete. So that's a pretty good catch. A little bit of theatrics there. I don't know if he necessarily needed all that, but all that matters is he did catch the ball. So
I wonder if Cade Anderson comes out tonight. Because the thing last night, because I watched last night's game, is LSU did have chances. Like they could have came back and won the game. It was just Little Rock put it on them. They kept on adding runs. When they put the game to bed in the 9th inning, they made it like a 6 or 7 run game, and it was over at that point.
Yeah, it'd be. I would say LSU kind of like Tennessee and Wake. Well, I mean, Wake brought their ace out tonight too. I'd say it's all hands on deck, except for whoever's been burned the last couple of days, because Anderson's probably on a bullpen day too, I would imagine. So, just a good night for Tennessee. That was a fun one tonight. I mean, it was a little stressful to start, and then you get the bases loaded with nobody out, double play. Again, Keelan I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, I feel like the shift rarely works for us, but Keelan, he got killed on it twice on well-hit balls tonight. Double play, Fisher struck out. We only got the 1 run, but, the big thing was then at that point, Krenzel kept Wake in check. And then once we got to that 4th inning, and you had – can't remember. Well, it's all kind of really started with the Reese Chapman glorified bunt, you could say. I think that was a moment where he was taken, and he saw that coming back, and it was kind of like an old crap swing. But it was perfect. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and that's where they rolled from there. I mean, you had after that, I think Clark got plunked. If I'm not mistaken, that was his first plunk. Peebles struck out. Manny Marin, I can't remember what he did on that at bat. He did. I don't think he got out tonight. I'm not mistaken. Let me look again here. No, he was 3 for 3, 2 runs. Yeah. He may have walked on that one.
Yeah, I think he
actually, because he had a double, he had the bunt, he had the home run. So that would have been when he walked. And then you had, I think what Keelan did. No, wait a minute. That's when Manny Marin hit the freaking home run. What am I thinking here? Manny hit the home run. Keelan got on base, and then Andrew Fisher that was legendary. You fired the crowd up. He was fired up, and then hits that bomb. That was one of the most awesome things. That was one of those moments, man. It was just, I can't imagine. That place was just crazy. I mean, I'm sure people around me here where I'm living probably heard me and stuff. I didn't get any knocks on the door, but whatever at that point. So, good night. We got almost 500 people in here. That's pretty awesome. But we're about an hour in. I think we'll wrap this up. I believe I'm setting up to watch this one tonight. Little Rock and LSU. We'll see how it goes. So, final thoughts tonight before Tennessee moves on to their 5th straight Super Regionals.
I mean, that was Tony Vitello baseball right there. That was an awesome experience for us fans. Game doesn't get any better than tonight. That's going to be a game you go back and watch a few years from now and just remember how good tonight felt. I mean, it was perfect. Couldn't ask for a better night. Couldn't ask for a better game. Essentially stress-free there for the second half of the game. So that was a great feeling. I feel like we all did crack cocaine tonight, even though we didn't ingest a thing. So it was a great feeling. Job's not finished, though. Need to go to Arkansas, still 2, and then book another ticket to Omaha.
Yeah, I think they can go down to Arkansas, which is going to be a tall task. They can get through that one. That repeat's realistic. Not saying it'll happen. I wouldn't guarantee it by any means, but it is realistic. But that's the chore at hand. That's the task at hand. First, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. Again, hit that thumbs up if you're watching on here. If you know anybody, Tennessee fan, has not found the channel, share it out. I would imagine out of the 500 watching tonight, not everybody's a subscriber. So if you like the content, you tune in with us, you want those notifications, hit the subscribe button. It is free. There's no cost for it. It gets you notifications as I do put out quite a bit of content across at least 4 sports. I'm trying to get into Lady Vols softball, but right now with that, baseball takes precedent over it because that's really kind of my main focus here for the most part. And so, but there'll be baseball content, portal once baseball season over. I think the baseball transfer portal opens maybe even today, possibly. I could be wrong.
There was already people entering today. There was a lot of big names that entered today. So
yeah,
I'm
so
sure
baseball
Tony's already
transfer portal's open. Of course, Tennessee can't host anybody this weekend. If they make it to Omaha, they won't be able to host for a few weeks. But I would say that I would not rule out any midweek stuff if they can get them in either. You got to do what you can. Normally these transfer portal visits are not 2 and 3 days. They're in and out. Like the basketball visitor that was in. Apparently he got in last night and is already gone and out of here. So, but keep you updated on the but you guys have a great rest of your night. We got a good one going on LSU and Little Rock if you're a college baseball fan. I'm not sure what channel that one's on. Maybe on ESPN too. It's definitely on ESPN Plus if you got that. But you guys take care. He's Kerry. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Last but not least, it was a beautiful night to wear the orange.